All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. We've got a nice flow two to get ourselves up and moving. And I thought we'd start with just a seated position. So you can take a similar seat to what I'm taking, legs up under the hip bones, or you can fold those legs out in front of you. As always, an optional block will be involved in practice today. Definitely not required, but can become handy in some of the poses we'll be taking. So as you get settled on your mat, go ahead and start to rest the sit bones either directly on the ground or maybe sitting up on a block or even a blanket. You might rest the hands on the legs or the lap, dropping the gaze towards the top of your mat or closing down the eyes altogether. And this is just a time to settle into the body, to both arrive on the body or on the mat rather physically, but then also let the mind actually catch up. Starting to take notice of sensations in the body that may be present for you this morning, whether it be in the joints, in the muscles, in the bones. Maybe it's an emotional sensation. It's just a time to acknowledge that those are happening. Allowing the breath to settle. Maybe it becomes almost undetectable as air moves freely in and out of the nose and mouth. You might start to notice the heaviness of your body. So the weight of the hips as they rest on the earth or on a block or blanket. The gentle pull of gravity on the shoulders as the elbows are drawn down toward the mat. And just feel that. Just feel that weight and the support underneath you. And then bring the attention to the back body and that spinal column. And then although your hips are rooted down into the ground, I want you to think about drawing the crown of the head just a little higher toward the ceiling. So you're working against that gentle tug of gravity downward, and you're activating the core and the back to start to lift that spinal column up through the top of the head. You can imagine each and every vertebrae just clicking right into place, stacking one on top of the next. As you feel that building, that strength upward, that gentle draw in of the stomach, the belly button drawing back toward that spinal column, we can start to deepen the breath. Maybe a couple of deep inhales and exhales just to refresh, to fill the lungs, to move new air in and out of the body. And then as the mouth is open, gently bringing those lips together and starting to work toward a breathing practice that fits you this morning. So if that's an Ujjayi pranayama or that audible exhale, maybe it's a deep belly breath as you expand the belly out and back in. We will be connecting breath and movement today. So finding a tempo of breath, a length of breath that may be sustainable for you for the next hour. And we'll return back to the breath and I'll remind you to check in. As this tempo of breathing becomes more comfortable for you, you might take the next few breaths to work or think about an intention or purpose for the practice we've set out on this morning. Maintaining that deep and sustainable breathing tempo, we'll gently draw hands to heart center. Let's take 3 breaths together. So as you begin to open up the eyes, let's inhale and sweep those hands out and up. Exhale, hands draw down through heart center. 2 more of those. Inhale, sweep those hands out and up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Last one like that. Inhaling. And then exhaling. Bring the hands up and overhead once again. Inhale. We're going to drop the left hand down. Right hand reaches up and over to the left side of your mat. Nice side stretch here. Just holding for a breath. As we inhale, both hands extend back up and overhead, and then other side, right hand down, left hand reaches up and over. So we're going to connect breath and movement like this. Inhale, both hands up and overhead. And exhale, stretch off to the left. Inhale, both hands up and overhead again. And exhale, off to the right. One more time, each side. Inhale, both hands up, overhead. Exhale, off to the left. And inhaling through center. And then again, off to the right. Beautiful. As we come up on the next inhale, we're going to twist to the right. So the right hand's going to come behind the body, left hand to the right knee. So we're going to inhale, think again about all of those vertebrae stacking one on top of the next, and then begin to twist off to the right side of your mat. Let's do the other side. Inhale, both hands up overhead toward the center. And then exhale, let's twist off to the left. The same idea. Right hand to the left knee, left hand comes behind the body. And we don't want to lose any of that length again. So draw the head toward the ceiling and then twist off toward that left shoulder. Again, we're going to connect breath and movement here. So let's inhale, hands up overhead, back to center. Twisting off to the right, exhale. Inhale, both hands up and overhead. And exhale, twist to the left. We'll just do that one more time, each side. Inhaling up through center. Exhale, off to the right. Inhaling up through center. And exhale, off to the left. Really nice. Let's inhale, both hands up overhead. And we're going to take a forward fold from here. So if you want to bring the legs in front of you, if they're not already there, you're welcome to shift your seat now. Place the hands down onto the mat and then begin to walk your way forward. Now, once those hip bones start to peel up off the mat, press the hands back so that we can connect the hip bones back with the earth. And then maybe you let the head and neck fall loosely down toward your mat. Nice natural curves of the spine. As you inhale, let's come back up to a nice tall seat. We're going to flip the fold of the feet. So if the feet are folded in front of you, let's pull them in the other way. Great. Hands can reach up and overhead on your next inhale. And then again, drop the palms down to begin. Start to walk yourself forward. And this side may feel different because we're working on a different hip. So if those hip bones start to peel up again, remember, press back into the palms so we connect them to the earth. And then letting the head begin to feel heavy. As you inhale, draw yourself back up, nice tall seat. Tabletop is next. So you're welcome to roll right over the knees or shift off to one side. Letting the hips start to situate themselves right over the knees. So there's a nice stacking sensation here. And then the wrists are just ahead of the shoulders. So we're not compressing those joints. Once you're in your tabletop, you can begin cat-cow poses. So as we inhale, we'll lower the belly to extend the heart toward the front of the mat. And as we exhale, draw the mid back toward the ceiling. You begin to draw the pelvis and the face a little closer to one another. Inhale, drop the belly, extending the heart toward the front of your mat. And exhale, mid back draws toward the ceiling. Start to engage the core a bit there as well. Continuing on your own breath count, inhale to lower. And exhale to engage. Following your breath count. And feel free to add some other motion here. So if you want to do side to side or big circles, really just a time to explore the torso, maybe areas that you haven't visited yet this week. Lengthening. And then maintaining that nice breath. Let's take just 2 more here, and then we'll all meet in a child's pose. As you work toward your child's pose, knees may be together or separated. It's really your choice. And then the hips will start to fall back toward the heels. Forehead can come to the mat, or you can use that block if you have one. You're welcome to let the elbows fall loosely down, relaxing the arms. But if you want to make this a little bit more energized, press into the palms so the elbows lift off the mat, drawing those hips a little closer to the heels, just making this a little bit more energetic. On your next inhale, let's come up to tabletop again. We're going to come to a Sphinx pose. So making sure the hips start over the knees, and then we'll draw ourselves forward to a half plank. Slowly lowering ourselves down onto the mat, and make a little pillow with your hands for your chin or your forehead. So we'll start here just to loosen the low back first. So give your tailbone a little sway back and forth. Maybe even bend the knees and give your feet a little windshield wiper action side to side. Lower those feet back down if they're lifted, letting the tops of the feet rest on the earth. And then the shoulders are going to come, the elbows rather, are going to come under the shoulders. So the forearms are nice and parallel. Spread those fingers out nice and wide. And then imagine you're drawing your heart toward the front of your mat. You're letting the belly fall to the earth, and then you're actively drawing that heart forward. Nice. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Nice long neck. Think about engaging the legs here. So as you press into the tops of the feet, you might feel the knees lift away from the earth. We're going to add a couple of quadricep stretches here. So we'll start with the left side, bringing the right arm parallel to the top of your mat. So your forearm is parallel to the top of your mat. We're going to bend the left foot, reaching back for the foot with the left hand. So I want to draw my left shoulder square again to the front of my mat. Now you don't have to bend this elbow, but if you can, you might bend it, pointing it toward the ceiling. So it's a bit of a shoulder stretch, and then we're stretching the quadricep as well. Gently, we'll start to release it, letting the foot fall back to the earth, and we'll do the other side. So this time the left forearm is parallel to the mat. We're going to bend the right knee and reach back for the foot with the right hand. So again, I want to draw my right shoulder back forward, and then start to draw that foot down. Now you don't have to bend the elbow, but if you do, start thinking about pointing it toward the ceiling. Gently and softly release it. Coming back to your Sphinx pose. We're going to do a bit of a hip opener as well here. So we'll start with the left knee. Keeping the shoulder square to the front of your mat, you're going to start to draw the left knee up to the side. So think about a 90-degree angle in that knee joint and then keeping those shoulders square. If it doesn't quite make 90 degrees, that's okay. We want to feel a sensation of opening in that hip. So you don't need to force it, just coming up as high as it feels comfortable to do so. Just another 2 breaths here. Let's release that leg back behind us, lowering it back down. Top of the foot reaches the mat. We'll do the other side. So bending the right knee this time, it becomes 90-degree angle in that knee joint. Again, if it doesn't quite make that 90 degrees, it's okay. We're looking to stretch that hip joint on the right side this time. And we'll release that right leg back behind us. Let's come back down onto our bellies, releasing our Sphinx pose. We're going to build up toward a locust. So we're going to start working that low back, but really think about engaging the stomach first. So as you lay here, patting your chin and your forehead with your hands, imagine you're engaging the legs, but you're also drawing that belly in toward the spine. So you're creating a nice strong core. We're going to come to a baby cobra to begin. So we'll bring hands to chest height, elbows draw in toward the rib cage, pressing into the palms on your next inhale. Start to lift that chest away from the mat. As you press the feet down into the earth, again, knees may draw away from the ground. Taking 2 more breaths. Let's lower down on the next exhale. Just like we did in the beginning, you might start to shift those hips side to side or windshield wiper those feet side to side, releasing that tension in the low back. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that as we build up to our locust. So starting to engage those legs again, pressing the tops of the feet down. Hands return to chest height as we draw the elbows in. Finding your baby cobra first, inhale. And then optional, you can bring the fingertips to the earth or even begin to hover the hands. 2 more breaths. As you exhale, slowly lower down onto the mat. And again, releasing tension in the lower half of your body, maybe swaying the hips or windshield wipering the feet. All right, last one, lowering the feet down. Begin to engage the legs again by pressing into the tops of the feet. We'll start with our baby cobra first. Let's bring the hands to chest height, elbows draw in. Inhale, lift the chest away. Now maybe once again, you come to fingertips or hover the hands. And then maybe this time you also lift the feet. So we can find a more full version of our locust as we take another 2 breaths. Draw those feet together, engaging the inner thigh. And on your next exhale, start to lower everything down to the earth. Really nice. We are going to visit locust again today, so start to wiggle those hips, maybe windshield wiper those feet. And finally, we'll make our way back to a child's pose. Let's come up to a downward facing dog. So through tabletop, start to tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, and shift those heels down toward the earth. Now you always can pedal into the feet here a bit or shift around in the body to find that nice sustainable down dog. Tabletop is your option if the wrists are not really feeling down dog today, which is absolutely a great alternative. Let's take 2 more breaths in down dog. On your next inhale, gaze forward at the hands. Exhale, you can step walk or hop to a forward fold, topping your mat. Feet about hips width distance, head hangs heavy, so no tension in the shoulders or the back of the neck. You can let the hands rest down toward the mat or grab opposite elbows. And always an option to move in ways that feel good. If you like to bend those knees a bit or sway side to side. Releasing the hands down toward the mat. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine toward the front of our mat. So bring some engagement to the back again. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Fingertips might rest on the earth or even the calves. And then exhale, find your forward fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Find that belly engagement. And then exhale, fold again. Last one like that. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Draw the hips backward. And then exhale, fold. This time as we inhale, straight spine. Let's come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Let's take 2 more breaths like that. Stay standing as we inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Last one. Inhale, sweep those hands out and up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Let's move through Surya Namaskar A. We'll take the first one a bit slow. So as we inhale, sweep the hands out and up. As we exhale, straight spine, dive forward. Once again, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, and find your plank pose. You can take a half plank like we did earlier in class. Otherwise, keep the knees lifted and think about lengthening from the crown of the head through the heels. As we exhale, we're going to lower our bodies down toward the mat. Everything's going to land at once as the elbows draw in toward the rib cage. As you inhale, maybe find that baby cobra again. If you're ready for an up dog, you're welcome to explore that as well. Exhale, lower back down to the earth. Moving through a tabletop, we'll find our downward facing dog. Let's take 1 more breath here. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, you can step, walk, or float to a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen that spine again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, back to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands. You can step or hop back and then lower down to the earth. Maybe through a chaturanga, maybe all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, hips go high, down dog. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step, walk, or float, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's just do that 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. Vinyasa on your own breath. So exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 2 more breaths. As you inhale, once again, gaze forward. Exhale, step, walk, or float, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, back to standing. And exhale, hands down to heart center. Nice. We'll move to a chair pose from here. So start to sink low, bending the knees. Feet can be hips width distance or they can be together. Again, it's your choice. We really want to draw that belly in here. And then you've got some options with the hands, either at heart center, reaching forward, or in line with your spinal column. So think about rooting the 4 corners of the sole of your foot down so that you can wiggle the toes, but not all the weight is in the heel. So we're really sinking and rooting into the mat through the feet. Maintain that nice deep breath here. Maybe you sink the hips just a little bit lower on the exhale. Nice. Let's take 2 more. So we're going to twist in this, taking a prayer twist. So the left elbow on the outside of the right knee here, pressing into the right knee. We'll start to, into the right knee. We'll start to twist toward the right side of our mat. So we're drawing the thumbs closer to the heart. They might not touch the heart, but they're moving in that direction. Using the breath. 1 more. As we inhale, we're coming back to center. Don't lose that chair just yet. I know those fires start to burn on the thighs. 1 more breath here. We'll do the other side. So this time, right elbow on the outside of the left knee. We're pressing into that knee so we can bring the thumbs closer to the heart. Again, they don't have to meet the heart. They're just working in that direction. 2 more breaths. Let's come back to chair on your next inhale. Keep the chair pose. 1 more breath. Forward fold. Oof. Give those knees a little pedal. Let the head hang loose. No tension in the shoulders or the neck here. Let's heel toe the feet to the width of your mat. And we're going to sink the hips low, coming to a deep squat. You can always build a little seat for yourself with blocks. Otherwise, sinking down in between the heels, maybe letting the hands once again come to heart center. So we can open up those inner thighs, reaching the heart toward the front of your mat. So we're not punching over here, but we're lifting and lengthening that spinal column. Maintaining that breath. Let's just take a couple more. We're going to come back to a forward fold. So you might drop the hands to begin. Start to lift those hips back toward the sky and then heel toe the feet toward hip distance apart. Inhale, lengthen the head toward the front of your mat. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, find your plank pose. Option here to vinyasa or head straight to a downward facing dog. Let's inhale, lift the right leg toward the back of your mat. Stack the hips and bend the knee. Let's just give ourselves some space here to open up that right hip a little bit. You can always rotate in the ankle or even in the hip joint by drawing circles in the air with the kneecap. Lengthen the legs, square the hips again. Exhale, knee in towards your chest, and then set the foot between the hands. So we're coming to a runner's lunge. Now for a runner's lunge, you can keep that back knee lifted or you can lower it down. Hands are going to stay connected with the earth, and we're going to draw the heart forward. So think about a long line from the head to the knee, or maybe even the head through the heel if that back knee is lifted. Two more breaths. And then we're coming to Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So I am going to have everyone lower their knee down to the mat. And then we're going to bring hands either to the thigh, heart center, or begin to extend them up and overhead. So now really think of the length from the left pinky finger all the way down to the left kneecap. So lots of length there as you let the hips start to sink. Knee stays right over the ankle. So if it starts to crawl too far forward toward the toes, walk the foot toward the top of your mat. From here, we're coming to crescent pose. So you can lower the hands down first to lift the back knee again, or imagine you're drawing the feet together and lift as you lift the pelvic floor. Nice. So we're keeping that left hip forward. Use the bend in the back knee to help leverage that. And then as always, that belly button is pulling back toward the spine. A little engagement there. We'll take a twist, left hand on the outside of that right side, and right hand extends behind us. So we start to turn toward the right side of our mat. Let's inhale out, come back to crescent. Exhale, lower the hands down. Step back to a plank pose. Option here to vinyasa or head straight to downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg lift. Stack the hip, bend the knee. So again, you have some opportunity here to rotate around in the ankle or in the knee, or in the hip joint rather, by drawing circles in the air with that kneecap. Extend that left leg, square the hip. Exhale, knee in toward the chest, step between the hands. Find your runner's lunge. So you have that option again to lift the knee or lower it down. Wherever you are, think about extending the heart forward, so lengthening. Nice, just a couple more breaths. Let's find our Anjani-asana. So if that back knee is lifted, let's lower it down. Hands work their way up to the side, heart center, or maybe you extend them up and overhead. So lots of length again, this time from the right pinky finger down to that right kneecap. And then think about sinking those hips so we can lengthen that space even further. Pay attention to your knees, tracking over the midline of that front foot. Take a few more breaths. Crescent pose is where we're headed. So again, option to drop the hands first. Otherwise, imagine you're drawing those feet together as you lift from the pelvic floor up off your mat. Really nice. Encouraging that right hip forward here. Use that bend in the back knee to help leverage that rotation. Maintaining that breath, make sure it's steady and strong. And then again, we're twisting here. So right hand's going to come to the outside of that left thigh, and we're going to reach the left hand behind us. We're just opening up to the side of the mat. And we'll take a few breaths here. So maybe you bring that gaze back even further. Coming back to crescent when you're ready. Inhale, both hands extend up and overhead. And then exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step back to your plank. Option as always to vinyasa or head straight to downward facing dog. From down dog, let's take just 2 more breaths. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, knee to chest, step between the hands. We're finding crescent pose once again. Inhale, arms extend up and overhead. Great, so we're gonna take a different version of a twist. So this time we're gonna bring the left hand down to the mat, right next to that right foot. And we're gonna begin to stack that right shoulder as we reach the right fingertips toward the sky. So you do have the option to lower this back knee if that's more comfortable for you, but we're gonna be incorporating this into a flow. Holding this pose for just another breath. We're going to begin to lower the back heel down and start to windmill our hands up and around and come to a side lunge. So we're going to be bending this knee, not going all the way down to the earth. We're going to bring hands to heart center, drawing our hips backward and really starting to bend deeply. So we might find something sensation in this right leg as we extend it to the side. Some people might call this skater pose. Some other hand variations may be right hand to the heart, left hand to the side. I'm keeping my hands at heart center today. We're going to come back to that twist. So start to straighten that left foot, start to rotate yourself down. Left hand plants itself on the mat as you reach the right hand up. Inhale, start to lifting yourself up. Shift toward that side of your mat. Come to that side lunge. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, plant the hands, find your twist. Inhale, draw yourself up through center. And exhale, find the side lunge. Let's just do that one more time. Inhaling through center. Exhale, twist. Inhaling through center. Exhale, side lunge. Really nice. We're going to come to a flow from here. So as we inhale through center, drop both hands to frame the front foot. Step back to your plank, vinyasa, or straight to down dog. Nice. Let's do the other side. Let's inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest, step between the hands. Crescent pose is where we're headed. Inhale, both hands up and overhead. So we're going to work on that same flow, but first we'll take a few breaths in our twist. So this time, right hand is going to fall down to the mat, and we'll begin to stack that left shoulder on top of the right. Fingertips reach toward the ceiling. So again, as we hold this first one, you might lower that back knee if that's more comfortable for you. All right, so we'll come to that side lunge to hold for a few breaths. So I want to rotate this back heel down first. As we windmill those hands up and overhead, this time sinking into the right side. So we're really bending this right knee. We're bringing the hips backward, keeping the left foot connected. Again, you might take different hand placement, left thumb to the heart, right hand to the side. Otherwise, keeping both hands at heart center, we'll take 2 more breaths. Let's take the flow. Inhaling through center. Let's exhale, find the twist. Right hand down, left hand reaches toward the sky. Inhaling through center. Exhale, squat to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhaling through center. Exhale, squat to the side. One more time. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, squat to the right. We'll work through a flow from here. Inhale through center. Both hands frame the front foot. Stepping back to your plank. Option to vinyasa or straight to down dog. Really nice. Let's take a few breaths here. If you'd like to take a moment in child's pose, you're welcome to. Making your way back to downward facing dog if you're not already there. Let's inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to chest, step between the hands. We're finding our crescent pose again. So inhale, arms extend up and overhead. Utilizing that breath, let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Hands come down to the hips. We're finding a pyramid pose. So bringing that back foot in just a bit so we can square the hips a little bit more. Think about engaging the core, so a nice long line from the hips all the way through the crown of the head. On your next exhale, keeping that straight spine, let's start to hinge forward. So if you have a block and you want to bring that down toward the mat, you can always rest the hands on one or two blocks. Once the hands find the ground, start to inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, find that nice natural curve. Head is heavy, legs are engaged. Two more breaths here. We're going to come back to standing from here. So hands come to the hips to begin. Straight spine as you inhale, begin to lift yourself back all the way up to standing. We're coming to warrior three as our balance pose today. So making sure, for me, making sure my leg is in the middle part of my mat so I don't hit my head on a wall. Start to lengthen that spine, and just like it was in pyramid pose, think about a nice straight line from the hips all the way through the head, all the way in your front foot as we begin to hinge forward. Now, I started with my hands on my hips, but you can always bring hands to heart center or even reach the hands up and overhead. Extending through the heel behind you, lengthen through the crown of the head forward. Two more breaths. Coming back to crescent. Let's come back to pyramid pose, actually. So lowering that back foot down and stepping toward the back of your mat. So we're straightening the legs once again. From here, we're coming to twisted triangle. So we're going to inhale, lift the left fingertips toward the sky. Keep a straight spine as you reach forward this time. Left hand coming either to the mat or to a block as we eventually draw the right fingertips up. Nice. So really lengthening the outside of the right leg, that T-band area. Two more breaths. Bringing that right hand down. To frame the right foot, we're going to step back to a plank from here. So bending into that standing leg, step both feet to the back of your mat, option to vinyasa, or head straight to downward facing dog. Letting those heels feel heavy. Let's just take two breaths. Left leg begins to lift. Inhale. Exhale, knee in towards your chest. Step in between your hands. Let's find our crescent pose to begin. The shoulders draw down, belly draws in. We're headed to pyramid. So let's bring hands to heart center. We're going to step in with that back foot. Again, to straighten the legs and re-square the hips. Think about that long, tall spine. And as you inhale, find length. Exhale, begin to hinge forward. So keeping those straight legs, let the hands begin to fall to blocks or the mat. You might find one more inhale to lengthen before letting that nice natural curve come to the spine. Maintaining that breath here as we take just a few more. We're going to come back up. So with a nice straight spine, hands might return to hips as you draw yourself back to standing. Now, warrior three is our balance pose today. So again, I like to bring my standing leg to the midline of my mat. Think about that length in the spine first, that nice engagement of the legs as all the weight comes into the left foot. We begin to hinge our way forward. The right foot is reaching to the back of the mat. Again, hand placement is your choice, maybe heart center, maybe reaching forward. Now let's take a few breaths here in our warrior three. Last inhale, think about lots more length. We're coming back to our pyramid stance, so lowering that right foot down first. Hands can come to the hips as we take our twisted triangle. So inhale, right hand reaches toward the sky. Exhale, begin to hinge forward with that straight spine. Let that right hand reach down to a block or the mat, and let the left fingertips begin to reach toward the sky. Just for a couple of breaths here, noticing that sensation on the outside of the left leg. Inhale, reach those fingertips higher. Exhale, both hands are turned to the mat. Let's find our way back to a plank pose. As always, option to vinyasa or head straight to your down dog, and then a child's pose. Letting the head rest down, letting the arms relax. We're going to make our way onto our bellies from here. So let's shift our way forward and then rest the body down onto your mat. You can make a pillow for your chin or your forehead again, and let the heels fall to the side. So I said that locust was going to return, and this is where it is. So we'll give 3 rounds of locust once again, but we won't build. We'll just do 3 full expressions. If you want to add or subtract any of the modifications we described earlier, please do so. Pay attention to the sensations, particularly in that low back. So bringing the feet closer together, let's start to engage the legs. So maybe once again, those knees begin to lift off because you're pressing down into the tops of the feet. Hands might start at chest height, or you might reach them behind you toward your toes to begin. And as we inhale, let's lift the chest, lift the feet. Taking 3 breaths here. Every inhale, lift. Every exhale, engage. Last one. Inhale. And exhale, lower down. You can rest the cheek or the chin down on your mat. If you like to wiggle the hips or windshield wiper the legs between sides, you're always welcome to. Round 2. Engage the legs, engage the belly, and as you inhale, lift the chest, lift the feet. Again, a few more breaths here. Every inhale, lift. Every exhale, engage a little more. Last one, inhale. And exhale, lower on down. Again, doing what you need to do to release the tension in the low back. Let the full weight of your body rest. As we prepare for our last round, you're welcome to do a bow pose as that part of your practice. I won't be demonstrating it today, but if it's something that you do consistently in your own practice, you're welcome to incorporate that now. Otherwise, preparing for our last locust as we engage the legs. And on our next inhale, begin to lift the body off the mat. Last locust of the day, maybe it's your highest locust as well. As you inhale, lift. Exhale, engage. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Last one. Inhale, lift, and exhale, slowly lower down. Really nice, everyone. Give yourself a moment here to release that tension. And let's go back to a child's pose when you're ready. Slowly lifting your body toward a seat, and we'll sit on our sit bones. Take a single leg forward fold. So extend the right leg first, bending the left foot so the left sole of the foot is the inside of your right thigh. Left knee's off to the side, always an option to use a block to support if you have one. Thinking about lifting the spine, nice tall torso, and then rotate yourself so you're facing your extended leg. Engage that extended leg, sink the heel down into the earth, but the thigh could be firing up. Now imagine your belly button is coming down toward your thighs. You're continuing to square off. As you inhale, both hands up and overhead, and exhale, find a fold. You can grab anywhere on the leg you like, and then let that head feel heavy. Let's inhale, draw ourselves up to a seat. We'll just do the other side. Extend the left leg, bend the right knee. Let that right knee fall to the right as the sole of the foot connects to the inner left thigh. So again, you got to think about straightening the spine first, nice tall torso, and then rotate yourself toward that extended leg. Belly button's going to draw down to the thigh as you inhale, both hands up and overhead. Exhale, draw yourself down. Again, grabbing anywhere on the leg you like, and then the head feels heavy. Drawing ourselves up when you're ready. We'll take a cobbler post. So bringing both soles of the feet in toward the pelvis. Knees fall off to the side. So you can grab the feet and open those soles of the feet like pages in a book. Think about lengthening. You're welcome to stay right here or begin to draw the chest or the face down toward the feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Great, so we'll round out our practice with those last couple poses, one being an inversion pose, so bringing your soles of your feet up and overhead, or at least above your heart. So if you have an inversion practice that you'd like to fit in today, I welcome you to choose one that you want to get in. I'm going to show a nice supported inversion pose. So coming down onto my back, I simply lift the feet over the hips, engaging the legs, reaching the soles of the feet skyward. If you have a block, you can always put a block under the low back, lifting those hips a little bit off the mat, and then taking that same positioning with the legs. Again, if there's another pose you prefer, you're welcome to take it now. But we'll take a few breaths here in our inversion practice. Maintaining that breath even as we stay still. And then maybe noticing any sensations, once again, in the body. Taking about 5 more breaths wherever you are in your inversion. Slowly coming out, drawing the knees down in toward the chest. If you're taking the inversion I've chosen. Lowering the feet, and if you have used a block, you can softly remove it. Just bringing those knees back into the chest, giving ourselves a nice hug, some early gratitude for the work we've put in today. And then a nice spinal twist to wrap up our physical practice. So shifting the hips to the left, knees to the right, keeping that left shoulder as connected as it can to the mat, and maybe extending that left arm long. Let's come to the other side. You can either walk those feet around or lift them through center as we bring the hips off to the right and the knees drop to the left. Again, keeping the right shoulder as connected as it can to the mat and then extending that right arm long. Taking just a few more breaths here. Knees back to center, realign those hips so there's a nice long line from your head to your hips. And then a happy baby might be your final posture. So grabbing the outsides of the feet or the bottoms of the thighs to open up the inner thighs, maybe taking a soft rock side to side. Or if you like to straighten one leg and the other, that's a great way to explore this pose as well. And then finally, working toward our Shavasana pose. Beginning to rest the body down onto your mat, using any blankets, blocks, socks, or sweatshirts that you might like to support and make you a little bit more comfortable for the next few minutes. As you come onto your backs, slowly start to release that breath practice, maybe by taking a couple of deep inhales and exhales. If you're comfortable to unfocus the gaze or even close down the eyes, you can start to pay attention once again to the heaviness of your body as it lays down on the ground. Notice the arms, the back, the hips, and the heels. And for the next few moments here, we will simply be. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet. Your arms may reach up and overhead as if you just woke up. Drawing the knees in toward the chest. And then when you're ready, falling off to one side in a fetal position. When you're ready, coming up to a seat on your mat. Eyes can remain closed or the gaze can stay lowered. And then the hands can rest on the legs or in the lap. Gently drawing hands toward heart center. Take a moment here to express gratitude toward yourself for taking this time out of your day to do something just for you. Revisit the intention you set at the beginning of class one last time. As always, I'll end today's class with a quote, today from Maya Angelou. I've learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually make the right decision. With respect and compassion, we say, Namaste.